Hi guys, I'm here with a brand new YouTube series, Chatting with Planner Moms. My first guest is my very good friend Shaniece Windsor, aka The Sleepless Planner. Let's jump right in. All right, Shaniece, so tell everybody, when did you start planning?
So I have been planning officially since I started working as a manager in retail. So we're talking about ages ago. And I'm not going to age myself in today's episode, so you just use your imagination. It was a long time ago. So, so as a manager, in order to keep track of all the things, planning was definitely something that needed to happen. And I just used one of those very basic, standard, flimsy planners that you could find at Staples. And at the time, I loved it. And I also still did do quite a lot of doodling in those planners. So I kind of became known in my field whenever I would go to a district meeting between my peers as the one with all the funny doodles in my planner. So it really wasn't very surprising that I clicked with bullet journaling many, many years later after having become a stay-at-home mom. And I was kind of struggling with just keeping everything together and finding a way to pay attention to myself. So it was just kind of hard. I was going through a lot of emotional challenges, trying to balance being a mom and figuring out how I could still be myself while being a mom. So when I came across bullet journaling, that was about 2015, and it was late at night after having been up for the 40th time with my baby, and I was just browsing on YouTube, and I came across a video, and it talked about bullet journaling, and it just clicked, and it just felt like that's what I was going to do. The very next day, I bought a regular, like a moleskin at Target, and I just started making lists and drawing, and no rhyme or reason whatsoever, just getting everything out of my head. And my first experience was that I felt so relieved that all of the things that spilled from my head onto the paper, I felt like I no longer had to really feel them so much anymore, because I had already put them on paper, and then that felt like something was going to be done about it, and I didn't have to think about it anymore.
Definitely.
And then the rest is history.
That's awesome. Tell me your 3 most beloved materials to plan with.
That's a hard choice. I was actually dreading that question, because I don't think I'm ever going to be ready to answer that question, because
it's ever evolving. So let's rephrase it, and let's say, what are your 3 current favorite must-haves?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is absolutely ever evolving. And I'll say that when I first started, I was quite happy with my moleskin and my ballpoint pen and my regular pencils. I was very happy with all of my supplies. And as time passed, and as I got more and more exposed to other people in the bullet journal community, then I learned about all of the other tools that people use to create the spreads that they want to create. My current love, as you may or may not know, is this specific pen.
Oh, I know, because I believe it was a couple of days ago that you made me like dig deep and find mine.
Dig deep into your stash. This pen is amazing. It's the Pigma graphic one, and it's waterproof, and it is, what do they call it? It's
archival,
and it's fade proof. But I love that it's waterproof because I have been lately obsessed with doing watercolor in my bullet journal,
which we love.
I'm really enjoying the process of it, and it just happened as a fluke. I had made a mistake that I didn't know that I was going to be able to correct, and then it occurred to me to just read the fine print, and I realized that this was waterproof, and I have just been obsessively using it ever since. Not to mention that I also love the thickness of the lines. I'm not being particularly careful with this spread to keep the lines straight, But when I'm drawing, because it's so thick, you don't really see the tremble in my pulse, because I don't really have a very steady pulse or whatever. I don't have a steady hand. So a thicker nib, I think, sometimes helps to make it look less shaky. Okay, so my other favorite thing is I love my Leuchtturm journal. I've been using, this is my 9th one.
Wow.
I think it's my 9th bullet journal, but it's only my 8th Leuchtturm. So I've been using it since my 2nd one.
That's customer loyalty right there.
I know, I've got some loyalty, and like I want to say that it's because I'm not going to be here, oh, this is the best one, this is the one you should get. There's so many great journals out there, but I am sort of a creature of habit, and like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I've loved it enough to not feel like I had to go look for something else. I would need to find a journal that was as good as this one in terms of all the extras that you get. Like, it already comes with pages for you to have an index. So then you don't have to do that. You don't have to number the pages.
That is a time saver.
Yeah, you get a little folder in the back. It comes with the page dividers, the bookmarks, which I took out of this one, I don't know, on a whim. And I don't know, it has a lot of add-ons, but if I can get all of those things and good quality paper for less than $20, then call me.
Well, I've never tried one. You know that I've been in my markings journal most of my bullet journal career, and then just this year I switched over to the Piccadilly, so I've never had the pleasure of even touching one.
Well, I feel like we need to remedy that this year, just for the sake of you knowing what's out there.
Exploring my options.
And vice versa. Like, I personally have been really intrigued with the Recollections journal. I feel like it's probably a dupe of this journal. Maybe I'm misspoken, but it looks very closely to the Leuchtturm. I used it to create a bullet journal for my mom, and I didn't notice any major ghosting or bleeding or anything of the sort. So if anything, and it's $5. If anything, is this the Artist
Loft version?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm calling it Recollections. I just assume that everything there is Recollections. But yeah, Artist Loft.
Okay. Yeah, I did have one of those. It was just the sizing that didn't work for me at the time.
Yeah, it's more square than rectangular, I think.
Yeah.
Another thing that I like to have, there's just two more things, or a couple more things, just to answer your question. I like to have an eraser. I know you don't like erasers that are like this, Anna. But I like this because it's a little bit more precise. So when I need to get in edges and stuff.
That is cute.
So it's really nice. It's a Tombow,
okay.
Mono, what have you. My go-to hand lettering pen is the Tombow Fudenosuke hard tip. And the way to know that it's hard, maybe you can zoom in. Over here, it says WSBH. And the one that's soft will say BS, which I like. But the hard tip is great for a beginner, and it's just also great for, it's just easier. And then I like to have a water brush. I think this is Pentel. Just for on-the-go watercoloring with perhaps some watercolor pencils. So super easy. And a nice pencil. And I love all kinds of writing utensils. Cheap or pricey. This was a gift. These are pricey pencils, but they just write like butter, and I love them so much. Oh. And
I've got to say that I am very grateful for all of my gifts, because Shaniece actually gifted me both of the things that she's talking about. So it makes me feel really great that I have some of her favorite things.
That's what's up. Well, the good thing about this is that even though it's pricey, it does last quite a while. I use it all the way to the stump. And the eraser, you can move it. As it goes down, you can kind of press in the edges.
Oh my God, I had no idea. Yeah. That's amazing.
So then you can move it up, and then you have more eraser. And they also sell the erasers separately, and they're not really expensive. I think you get like 20 in a box for like $2.50.
You can't see me because of the way you're recording, but I have just pulled mine out, and mine's brand new, so you can see. Yeah. Oh, that is the most amazing thing.
So I feel like it's worth it. Sometimes, you know how they say you get what you pay for.
Absolutely. As a mom of two, like myself, when do you find that sacred quiet time to plan?
It's all stolen time. There's zero loyalty in this house for my bullet journaling needs. And I think everyone here is just so used to me just doing it whenever I can, that I don't think I've ever necessarily said, okay, now it's mommy's journal time. I think, they're just used to seeing me with it in the kitchen, on the dining room table, or when they take a bath. I sit directly outside of the bathtub, outside of the splash zone, and I do my bullet journal while they take a bath. But I would not be the sleepless planner if, true to my name, I didn't do most of my planning after everyone goes to sleep. And it used to be more so when the kids were younger than now. But yeah, most of my planning happens either early morning or late at night. Sometimes I have insomnia. So yeah, usually after dark.
After dark. What do you find to be your most functional spread?
Hands down, it's going to be my habit tracker, which is currently needing some updates.
Just gorgeous. Look at the hand lettering, the colors. I mean, you've managed to incorporate all of your favorite techniques. It's awesome.
Yeah, which it's funny because I know a lot of people see creative bullet journalists. Let's coin that term, Anna.
Seriously.
As maybe not true bullet journalists, because we've kind of deviated a little bit from the simplicity of the original concept of Writer Carol. And so for me, I feel like if it's pleasing to the eye, I'm more likely to come to this spread and actually do the things. Maybe it's just me, but
no, I absolutely agree. As somebody who doodles and draws and uses a bunch of different medias in my journal, I 100% agree. Just because it's quote unquote pretty does not mean that it does not serve a real purpose in my life.
It definitely is a need. I use it every single month, and I have used it every single month since I started bullet journaling, and it has just, it's great. I'm going to tell you, last week's to-do, I would say probably 90% of this is going to get migrated into this week.
And that happens. We write lists, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we have the time or things work out differently. Things, that's the beauty of the system, is that it has that migration so that eventually things will get done. It's just a matter of not forgetting that there are things to be done.
Things change, and the thing that I love the most about the system is that the flexibility, the fact that it's 100% customizable to whatever we need it to be. It sounds like we're promoting an ad for the bullet journal, but I think
there are enough people in this community that we all understand what it does for each of us individually.
Yeah.
For the few stragglers who haven't found it yet, or those moms who are pregnant and are thinking, oh my God, how am I going to keep track of everything? I didn't find the bullet journal method until way, way later on. My kids were already in school, in elementary school, so I wish that I would have had something to brain dump and keep all my things in one place, and also find my creativity sooner would have been lovely.
Yeah, agreed. But on that topic, I feel like I wish that I had tapped into my creativity sooner, and yet I'm grateful that this system put me into a community that I might not have otherwise tapped into.
Absolutely.
Which then encouraged, it's such a great community. It encouraged and inspired me, and I've yet to approach someone that I asked a question about their methods, their tools, or anything. I've yet to approach anyone that's ever said, no, I don't care. Good luck with that.
Buzz off. Like yeah, no, for sure.
Everyone has always been just encouraging and just amazing. So it's really been kind of, I'm doing this so wrong, by the way. I just pressed hard going up instead of going down.
I'm just watching you and just enjoying the fact that you can do that. It's just, if you wouldn't have said anything, I would have just been like, look at that. It's just amazing.
Well, enjoy the fact that now I'm have to go back and create thicker lines because I messed that up. No, but yeah, I just think that I'm super grateful that like I reconnected with my creative self that I had forgotten, and all at the same time of, tracking my memories, creating systems that help me keep track of the things that I don't use every day. It's amazing.
And I'm also a big believer that things happen when they're supposed to. And my main reason for wanting to do this series and to specifically talk to moms that plan is because I have spoken to so many people who have said something was going on in my life and I needed a way out. I needed an outlet. And I found late at night or early in the morning or while sitting in the toilet, whatever, I found a post and fell down the rabbit hole. And here we are with a collection of memory-filled journals. And I felt like it was important to give a little bit of time for people to tell their story and walk down memory lane with them and find out how we were all introduced to the bullet journal, or to planning, or to art journaling, whatever it is that you want to denominate your journal as. Because even though we're all kind of an organizational community, there are different names that people have chosen.
And then not to mention, there are people that use the bullet journal system literally as, not to make it over dramatic, but as survival. People use it to track their mental health and to track their self-care and how they take care of themselves. I would be one of those people. And it's really become like a tool that is truly helpful in people's lives. So I would definitely encourage anyone who's on the fence to get off it.
Jump in.
Get off the fence.
Okay.
It's the best.
Let me ask you for some planner wisdom. In all the years, in all of your 9 journals, what planner wisdom would you like to share with a newbie?
Just jump in. Just open the book. Any book will do. I have found notebooks, like composition notebooks at Staples for $1.50, and I have a video that shows you how to do that. Not to do a shameless plug, but yeah, no, because it's important to mention. Like I'm sitting here writing in a $20 book that is not necessary. Okay. It's just not.
You're doing it in a $20 book. My book happens to cost $9 at Target. And yes, on the Piccadilly website. And also for the first 3 years of my bullet journal career, I was in a $5 book from Staples. So
there you go. So it's not necessary to spend a lot of money. It's not necessary to feel like you have to get all these tools so that it can look a certain way. This is like, a bullet journal is personal. So it just needs to work for you. It just needs to make you happy. Nothing else. There's no aesthetic that you need to worry about. There's nothing that you're supposed to have or not supposed to have. So just jump in and do it, and that's it. I mean, just start with a list.
It does sound, it's easier said than done. We all suffer from FOMO. I think my favorite word of February has been hashtag FOMO. Yeah. As I just clearly set up my faux Hobonichi week in my dotted journal. But again, I want that journal. I think it would be great, but I already have this one and I don't feel the need as much to run out and get it when I can create something, because in all honesty, next month I may not want this layout. I may want to switch back to something I was doing in January or last year or the year before. I mean, I go into my old notebooks quite a bit to get inspiration from myself.
Yeah.
And others. There's always so much new stuff coming out. People are so creative.
The hashtags are loaded with inspiration.
Absolutely.
From, if you look up Bujo Basics, then if you feel intimidated by the artistic,
Aspect of it, yeah.
The aspect of it, which is, again, let us stress, unnecessary. It's not mandatory. It's not not
there's
at
no
all
rule
required. But if that really, makes you a little bit anxious about starting, then just look up the Bujo Basics hashtag, and you will see lots of very straight to the point spreads that can inspire you to get started. But honestly, my first page was a to-do list. It wasn't a weekly, it wasn't a monthly, it wasn't a tracker, it was nothing. It was just a to-do list. This is hectic. Look at this.
I'm sitting here just fangirling.
I lied because I thought my first page was a to-do list, but it looks like it was a plank challenge. Which I never did.
Oh my goodness. That is so funny.
This. Like, wow, washi.
So much washi. It's like the total opposite of mine.
There is so much going on, but like, look at the stark contrast of, like, it's like an evolution, you know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely.
And, but again, the point is that, look, it's just this a page after page of mainly lists.
Look at your habit tracker right there.
Yeah, I know.
The difference. Yeah.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be able to look back and see progress. You're gonna die. Wait, I have to show this to you, and then I'll close the book and let you move on with your life. But there's a doodle here for like Mia's first dance class when she was 2, and I probably look at this.
Aww.
I mean, but look, her legs are off to the side of her waist.
But see, that's an Annie right there. Annie, my little sticker Annie, she was off-centered until my husband said, what's going on with her? And then what's funny is that after I fixed her, Shaniece noticed that Annie was off-center also.
Yeah.
So we've all been there.
Yeah. No, but talk about, like, everything is about the process, and like, talk about progress. Like, times have changed.
Absolutely.
So guys, just jump in.
The Sleepless Planner wisdom.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this is the last question. And again, I'm asking for as much honesty as possible.
Move forward.
How much did you spend on your last planner-related haul?
Dang it. My husband doesn't subscribe to your channel. So,
No.
Let's see. You know what? I do a lot of like bits and pieces here and there on Amazon, like $5 here, $10 there. But like, let's to answer that question, I would have to say like over the last month. It's not bad. I feel like it maybe is like $50.
Okay.
I feel like that's not terrible.
I think every time I walk through Michael's, they just take $50 from me as a cover charge.
Yeah, that's why.
I think that's pretty standard. And I go to Michael's at least like twice a week, so that's pretty good.
Why though? You know why? Because I've accumulated so many things over the years. So yes. I started this in 2015, and just little by little, month after month after month for the last 4 years, I've added to my stash. So my stash is already quite sizable.
Yeah.
So I think now I'm able to be a little bit more picky. I'm not just gonna get a pen. It
Yeah.
needs to be like, is it better than my microns? No. So then what am I doing?
I feel like now I need somebody's testimonial before I buy something. Is it not only is it going to be better than what I already have, but which of the people that I follow and trust is using something better? Is it really going to be worth it? Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Because,
Which is
I
another
mean,
reason
the
why it's
amount of
constantly-
things that one accumulates is insane.
It's really a lot, but if it's something that you use and that it's worth it. So like these, this little, I don't know, I got this at H&M years
So
ago.
cute.
It was $1. And these are I use these every day.
Okay.
So this stays on my desk. But then, you know, for
This
a
is what
different
I've been using
would
this
be-
one from Jet Pens. Oh, so cute. And
so
these,
fancy.
I know, and these are some of my everyday go-to pens. There's kind of a mix of everything in there though, including my current monthly palette colors, I guess you would call them.
Don't you love seeing in other people's stuff?
Oh yeah. Well, Miss Windsor, we have come to the end of our interview. Thank you so much for being my guinea pig, my very first interviewee. We did it! Woo! This interview has been in the works for about 2 or 3 months. I don't even know. I've lost count. But it is a series. There will be more. If you'd like to be an interviewee, please leave a message, or you can find me on Instagram and DM me through there. Thank you so much. I hope that you have learned something. I hope you've been inspired by us. And if you have any further questions, please leave them down below. Shay and I will be happy to answer. We love chatting. Please find us on Instagram, where we spend most of our day. We all live for the Sleepless Planner stories. They are so much fun. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Bye!
If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Don't miss a thing. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!